Imagine the elimination of air pollution and global warming. Think about the relief that you might feel coming from this, knowing nothing challenges a beautiful blue sky. Unfortunately, this scenario is not the case. Many of our world's daily activities are releasing chemicals that pollute our atmosphere, and while eliminating air pollution is nearly impossible, renewable energy systems such as wind turbines can play a crucial role in reducing the amount of pollution in our world. You could say wind energy is a special interest for me. As I watch power plant pollution rise into the air on my way to high school each morning, I wanted to learn about its causes and effects. Through high school, I worked with my science teachers to understand how wind energy could impact pollution. I've continued to do my own research that includes valuable information about wind energy and wind turbines. So far, I have found there is a lot more to the moving air we call wind than I expected. Today, I would like to share with you what I have learned about the history of wind, how it can be used to create energy, and its future impact on our world. Wind has a history of its own. According to the article Wind, published by the NEED Project in 2018, wind is produced by the uneven heating of the Earth's surface by energy from the sun. The uneven heating occurs because the Earth's surface is made of diverse types of land and water, which absorb the sun's energy at different rates. Let's say the land is heating up more quickly than the water. The warm air over the land will expand and rise as the cooler air over the water takes its place. This creates a convection of moving air, what we call wind. Because it will be continually produced as long as we see the sun, it is considered a renewable resource. Thousands of years ago, civilizations were already finding ways to use wind for energy. Citizens in Persia built the earliest known windmills, looking like large paddle wheels to grind grain. Holland improved the windmill design by giving it a propeller-type fabric, and by the 1600s they became one of the world's most industrialized countries. Soon, American colonists found ways to grind wheat and corn, pump water, and even cut wood using windmills. Americans began using windmills to generate electricity in rural areas in the 1920s. And the world increased production of windmills to generate electricity during the 1970 oil shortages. Since the early 2000s, wind has been consistently transformed to create power. Wind has supplied 2.49% of the United States energy and 5.6% of the United States electricity. The U.S. Department of Energy's research found that in 1980, electricity generated by the wind cost 80 cents per kilowatt hour, and now electricity costs 5 cents or less per kilowatt hour. New wind turbines continue to lower the cost. Now that we know a little bit about the history of wind, let's see how wind is transformed to create energy and electricity. Wind turbines are used to harness energy from the wind to generate electricity. The NEED Project's article Wind states that, quote, most wind turbines have the same basic parts, blades, a tower, and a gearbox, end quote. The blades catch the wind and spin a rotor. When the rotor spins, a low-speed shaft connected to a gearbox turns. Inside the gearbox, a large gear turns a smaller gear quickly. The smaller gear connects to and turns another shaft at high speed. The high-speed shaft turns a generator, which produces the electricity. The electric current goes through cables down the wind turbine tower to a transformer that changes the voltage of the current so that it can be used in our homes. In our current technological realm, wind turbines are the only way to convert wind to energy and electricity. Wind turbines are advantageous because they are cost-effective and clean. The cost to produce wind turbines is cheaper than coal power plants, and while fossil fuel prices increase, wind energy will remain the same price. Wind turbines also do not produce air or water pollution. While they have their pros, they also have their cons. Clusters of wind turbines are grouped together on countrysides with high winds to create wind power plants. These plants require a hefty amount of land and can cover hundreds of acres. From the advantages and challenges of wind energy by the U.S. Department of Energy, wind turbines are negatively impacting wildlife as birds and bats have been killed flying into the turbines. With its advantages and disadvantages, let's talk about wind energy's future capabilities. For wind energy to be widely used, it must be scalable. Scalable means when something can generate substantial amounts of power. Due to its renewability, wind energy is considered scalable. Wind turbines convert 25 to 45% of the wind's kinetic energy into electricity. A single large turbine in the U.S. produces enough electricity to power up to 1,875 homes. And as technology advances, more of the U.S.'s energy needs could be satisfied with wind. Wind capacity worldwide has nearly doubled in the past 4 years. Investments in wind energy have increased due to its decreasing costs and improvements. And according to the U.S. Department of Energy's article Wind Vision, by 2050, wind could support over 600,000 jobs in installation, maintenance, and manufacturing. Wind could also save consumers around $280 billion due to its consistency, unlike fluctuating fossil fuel costs. Wind could also avoid emission of 12.3 gigatons of greenhouse gases. In closing, it is important to think about alternatives to burning fossil fuels for energy. Since its early use, wind energy has proven to be a practical, economical alternative to power plants in our country. Because no fuel is burned, it is clean, it does not produce air or water pollution, and its most severe disadvantage is its impact on some wildlife. So far, there is no energy source found to be perfect. To some, the shining blades of the wind turbines on the hillsides are a blemish, and for others, they are a nice substitute for our conventional power plants. Thank you.